The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, the 4 finalists to be Fall River's next school superintendent are forwarded to the school committee. The city clears out homeless encampments near I-195, and we preview this weekend's Memorial Day weekend activities across the city. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. The search committee reviewing candidates to be Fall River's next superintendent of schools forwarded the names of 4 finalists to be considered by the board. Here is the list of the finalists. The first candidate is Dr. Tracy Curley. Dr. Curley currently serves as Assistant Superintendent and Chief Academic Officer at the Fall River Public Schools. Dr. Curley has worked within the district since 2009, serving as Associate Principal at Durfee High School from 2009 to 2014, Principal at the Henry Lord Community School from 2014 to 2017, and within the department's administration, serving as Curriculum Director from 2017 to 2018, and Director of Data, Assessment, Accountability, and Research from 2018 to 2022. Next up is Elizabeth Legault. She currently serves as Superintendent at the East Bridgewater Public Schools. She served in that current role since 2015. A native of upstate New York, Ms. Legault taught and served as a principal in Rhode Island for nearly 20 years. She was relieved of her duties as a principal in Central Falls, Rhode Island in 2011 after the school system was taken over by the state of Rhode Island. She also served as superintendent of the Whitehall Public Schools in upstate New York before her appointment in East Bridgewater. Next is Anna Riley. She's the superintendent of the Bristol-Warren Regional School District in Rhode Island. A resident of Fall River, Ms. Riley has served in her current role as superintendent since late 2021. Before that, she was superintendent in Portsmouth from 2014 to 2020, and then transitioned to Deputy Commissioner for Instructional Programs for the Rhode Island Department of Education for nearly 2 years. The final candidate is Dr. David Thompson. He's the superintendent of schools in Norwood, Massachusetts. Dr. Thompson has been superintendent in Norwood since 2017. From 2014 to 2017, he served as assistant superintendent at the Blackstone Millville Regional School District in central Massachusetts. Earlier this year, Dr. Thompson was a finalist to be superintendent in the town of Natick. Mayor Paul Coogan says now that the finalists are set, the next step in the process is for the committee to hold public interviews.
We'll work with our partners at the Massachusetts Association of School Committees, where they're developing some questions that are common to superintendents. Obviously, all the members of the committee will have the opportunity to send them questions they'd like to see asked at the final interviews. I think we have to schedule the 4 people. I've heard 2 plans, one all at once, one over 2 nights, but then again, you don't get to give them all the same questions. So we're going to try to see what works best with our consultants and what we've done in the past. But this will move along now to public interviews, whether we want to go visit districts, check in references. There's a lot of work that's going to go into these 4 candidates before any one of them gets an opportunity to work for the city of Fall River.
The school committee this week also lent their approval to renting space at the former Bishop Connolly High School to house additional pre-K classes, moving the Stone Community School, housed at the Westall School, to the department space at 2501 South Main Street, and reopening the Westall School as an elementary school to better serve parents and students in that neighborhood. Fall River teachers have begun negotiating with the school department on a new union contract. Their current 3-year agreement expires in August and covers teachers, nurses, LPNs, therapy assistants, and school administrative managers. Fall River Educators Association President Keith Michon says the two sides have met 4 times since late winter, and the union is taking a different approach to the negotiations.
We're doing bargaining a little differently than we've done it in the past. We're doing what's called expanded bargaining, where we're involving more of our members. We have 35 to 50 members at each session, and it's been a good experience. More discussion amongst my members, more transparency, and it's definitely been cordial. In the past, we've had little involvement with our membership until the very end, and that's caused some friction in the unit where people felt like things were being hidden, or they were forced to make a decision in a very short period of time when it came to ratification. Now they're involved in the whole process. They're really learning, what goes into what makes a contract.
Mr. Michon says the union is seeking parity with neighboring communities when it comes to its demands.
Compensation, as in any contract, is the number one priority. Our district is significantly behind a lot of the neighboring districts, so that's a priority. Our other priorities are workload. Educators feel they're overworked in a lot of our schools. There's a lot of need in this community, and our educators are giving it their all, but they feel overworked at times. And then we're talking about school safety, and I think that's a concern of everybody, students, parents, educators. So we want to try to make our schools as safe as they can be. And the other priority is parental leave. We believe that and not just education, but all industries should have paid parental leave. So that's one of our proposals.
When it comes to compensation, the union claims that being on par with similar-sized communities will result in improved teacher recruitment and retention.
The biggest city in the state, Boston, those teachers are earning between $65,000 and $130,000 a year, which if you look at just the economy right now, to be a middle-class person, own a home, those are, it's kind of crazy, but those are the wages that you need to earn today. And we see wages below that in other districts like Taunton and Attleboro and New Bedford that are closer to the 50 to 120 range. And over the next 3 years, they'll probably be in the same range as Boston. Our current range, we're at about 48,000 up to about 87,000. So we're significantly below that. And the gap is much closer at the early steps. And I know in our last contract, we made some moves to address the early steps, step 1 and step 2. But our top step is very significant, as high as 20% lower than some of the neighboring communities.
Members of the FREA addressed the Fall River School Committee this week, stating its case for its demands. Among those to speak was Durfee High School teacher Alexander Souza. He attended Durfee and was encouraged by his father to enter the teaching profession. He says he's finding it more difficult to continue to teach in Fall River in the face of better compensation elsewhere.
I want someone to explain to me why I'm even here, right? Why? As I continue to stay here, I make less money. I'm here because I love Fall River, right? My dad's from here. I'm from here. I went to Durfee. I live in Providence. I cross that horrible bridge every day, right? Because I love this place, right? And no matter where you go, if you throw a rock hard enough, you will make more money at that school, right? At some point, it's insane for me to go to my wife and my potential children, hopefully that will happen one day, and say, I want to keep teaching at Durfee. It's selfish, right? So we need to make a decision. Either you care about teachers and you care about the education of the school, or we as a society admit that it's not our top priority.
Thank you.
Mr. Michon says the public display at the meeting is important in keeping the community informed as to the challenges facing city teachers.
I don't know if it's a strategy, but it's maybe a philosophy that we should be transparent in everything that we do. This is public education. The public should know the type of things that we're talking about, and it's also a recruitment tool. If a young person, a high school student, is thinking about becoming a teacher, they should be aware of the wages that you could earn, some of the benefits that exist. Whether they're a high school student or an older person in the community, a career changer, they should know about the compensation and the benefits that we negotiate for.
Mr. Michon says he's confident a new 3-year contract will be settled with the city before school starts in late August. Mayor Paul Coogan agrees and understands the importance of getting a new contract finalized.
I want this settled before then because we have to try to attract candidates to the district. We want to make sure they know that our pay scales are competitive with other communities. That's also a big factor. There are a number of things that the committee's offering to the union. I know I saw it on Facebook, so I don't want to tell any tales out of school. Their first offer was 12, 12, and 12. I think we counted last night with 2, 2, and 2. But I'm pretty sure that when all's said and done, we're not going to end up at either of those numbers. And our partnership with the union is extremely strong. And we're hoping we can get this settled up. There's the initial flush of what one side wants, what the other side wants. I've seen this 100 times, and it's the way negotiations work.
As the weather warms, more homeless individuals are comfortable creating outdoor encampments as their home base. The city of Fall River continues to assist these individuals to get the help they need. Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan says in the last few days, the city's outreach team and local health professionals met with individuals and encampments along Interstate 195 near the Quequechan River Rail Trail, alerting them of the need to clean out the area.
We went up there, I guess it was 2 days ago. They hit the area with a backhoe. They took out 6 or 7 40-yard bins of trash that they were removing all along there. They cleared trees. But and so I believe at this point, all the residents are out along the rail trail. But the good part of that was that we ended up, through the hard work of the FAST team and our partners, 14 of those people went to treatment. Now, we know that that's not 100% successful, but right now those people are getting the help they need to battle their demons, and it's very good. We have a few more that want to go home, one to New York, one to Tennessee, a few more waiting to go into treatment. So we're making a concerted push right now. We're on Brayton Avenue today with the state, our partners, to try to get some of these areas cleaned up and get people to help.
The mayor says a similar operation will be taking place along Brayton Avenue. Now, the plight of the homeless in the city continues to shed light on the lack of housing in Fall River. Mayor Coogan says the city is working with developers to increase the housing stock. One such location moving along is the conversion into housing at the former Lincoln School on Pine Street.
I think there's going to be 28 apartments in there. They looked like they had good size, high ceilings. A lot of the natural old woodwork is there. They're going through and changing the windows out. They're putting in the sheetrock now. They've been all divided up. Very, very impressive. You had a dead spot there. An old building that was just decaying and rotting away is now going to get new life with another vibrant addition to the neighborhood there off High Street over near Rock. And I think, again, this is what you need. You need people to move into the city that have money to spend, that have an apartment they're proud of, and go about their business. And that's what we need. And I really was impressed with the way this looked. It was all framed off and all the rough plumbing was done. So they're not far from where they want to be. And hopefully that'll be on the roll shortly. There's a number of these projects that are still coming down the pipeline on renovating the mills, or at Sacred Heart Schools getting ready to wind up. So Sacred Heart Church, I'm sorry, is getting ready to get renovated. So it's all good.
The city of Fall River has cut the ribbon on a new trolley that will transport residents and visitors across the city. Mayor Coogan says the trolley was secured from a transit system in Delaware and will support a full schedule of activities along the waterfront this summer.
It's a used trolley that's been spruced and brought back to life by Al Oliveira and his crew, and it's going to do a lot of good things for the city. It's for rent, it's going to do a loop, and people can use it for their events to get around the city of Fall River. We want people to be exposed. It's going to be a different way to ride, and we want people to use it. It's very important. So we're going to have a different combination of things going on in the city of Fall River. Rock the Dock is right here on the 4th of July. Take Me to the River from Narrows is right here. I'm not sure of the date that's coming up. And all of our 4th of July celebrations are going to be down on this waterfront. Rock to the Dock is June 1.
The trolley will travel across Fall River every Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. beginning June 1st and throughout the season. Patty Wigo, Executive Director of Viva Fall River, says the trolley route will stop at multiple attractions across the city.
There are 12 stops. It starts at the right across the street from the Maritime Museum. The next stop is Columbia Street. The one after that is St. Anne's. After that would be St. Mary's, the St. Mary's Lizzie Borden area. After that is Troy Street, which is kind of an introduction to the Lower Highlands. Then we have the Little Theater Fire Barn, which covers the historic Highlands. The next stop after that is Oak Grove Cemetery, Lizzie Borden's grave, which is a super popular tourist attraction. From there, it goes to Portugalia Marketplace, which is obviously one of our great assets. After that, it goes to the Purchase Street Dining District, where there's a lot of new things happening. From there, it takes a right on North Main, goes to the Children's Museum for that whole area, and the Railroad Museum, of course. Then it goes straight to Bicentennial Park, where you have over 6 war memorials to view. And then the last stop on the loop is the Lafayette Durfee House, which I'm really happy that we were able to make that happen. And then it goes back and does it all over again. So the loop should theoretically take about an hour.
The unemployment rate in the city of Fall River dropped last month. The jobless rate in April fell to 5.2%, down from 6.3% in March. The rate a year ago was 5%. Unemployment in Fall River's suburbs and nearby gateway cities were also lower last month. Statewide, the unemployment rate held firm at 2.9%. We'll be back with more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Math Department Head. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is seeking a full-time math department head, responsible for coordinating the development and implementation of district curriculum objectives. Job number 208-68236. Spanish interpreter. Vernacular Language Services is looking for a part-time Spanish interpreter, responsible for interpreting for limited English-speaking individuals getting physical therapy in the Fall River area. Job number 208-65295. Assistant Retail Manager. Aldi's, located at 485 William S. Canning Boulevard, seeks a full-time assistant retail manager, responsible for the complete day-to-day operation of the store in the absence of the store manager. Job number 208-66896. Shipping Receiving Associate. Walmart, located at 638 Quequechan Street, is looking for a full-time shipping receiving associate. For more information, call 508-730-2677. Family Service Association, located at 101 Rock Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Therapeutic support staff. Job number 208-65283. Janitor technician. Job number 208-63803. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing. And we're trying to concentrate on youth, and it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long; it's 2 hours a day, and once they start volunteering, it's like a family. It really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. we're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
Welcome back. As we head into the Memorial Day holiday weekend, here's a listing of events celebrating Fall River veterans. On Saturday, May 25th, there will be 2 events at Bicentennial Park. At 7 p.m., the Italian-American War veterans will hold a ceremony at their monument. Then at 7:45, Mass Chapter 2 of Rolling Thunder will hold a candlelight vigil with Gold Star families. At 8 a.m. on Sunday, May 26th, the ceremony, Mass, and breakfast will be held at Blessed Trinity Parish and the Polish War Veterans Monument on Plymouth Avenue. At 10:30, a ceremony will be held at the Griffin Park Memorial in the city's Corky Road neighborhood. And Rolling Thunder will return to the city and the Fall River Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall for a ceremony at 2:30 p.m. On Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th, there will be a ceremony at the War on Terrorism Memorial at North Park at 9 a.m. And the day will culminate with the annual Memorial Day Parade at 11 a.m. and a ceremony at Government Center at 11:45 a.m. All events will take place rain or shine and are free and open to the public. Even though there were persistent showers last Saturday, it did not dampen the spirits of the dozens of students who walked the stage at the 57th commencement exercises at Bristol Community College. During her remarks at what was her final commencement ceremony, Bristol President Dr. Laura Douglas focused on the success of Bristol alumni and how the class of 2024 will add to the growth within the region.
As a Bristol graduate, you are continuing a legacy of innovation, progress, and economic impact that makes our community thrive. Whether you choose to work in a local business, healthcare, or social service organization, an emerging industry, or pursue further education, you will be making a difference in our community. Our graduates serve as catalysts for change, as leaders, visionaries, and the driving force behind innovation and progress. Your efforts of championing social justice, advancing racial equality, promoting education, fostering economic development, and addressing community challenges are advancing a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Dighton's Amy Rodriguez gave the valedictory address. She spoke of the strength and determination of her 17-year-old daughter in facing medical challenges as the catalyst for her to attend Bristol and earn a degree as an occupational therapy assistant. She said every graduate should be proud of the challenges they overcame to graduate.
You have all worked so hard to get here. Whether you are entering the workforce, continuing your education, my humble advice to you is to keep going. I challenge you to always make big goals and chip at them one by one. I challenge you to hold on to your passion, find your motivation, take your inspiration, and run with it. If you ever find a time where you think your goals are unreachable, if you ever find a time where you think it's too late, if you ever find a time somebody says you will never accomplish something, know that you control your future.
We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today with us we have Gigi. She's an 8-year-old domestic short hair. She wasn't own or surrender, no fault of her own. They just didn't have enough time to care for her properly. So they just wanted to do the right thing and surrender her and give her another chance at life. She's roughly about 18 pounds, so until she does slim down, she will need help with some grooming. So it is very beneficial that she actually does like to be brushed. If you had kids, I'd probably say young teens or older. I don't think she would do good with a young kid, only because she's a little bit bigger, so sometimes she doesn't really like to be poked at too much or picked up a lot. But a lot of that can be due to being a little heavy. If you would like to come meet Gigi, you can call Forever Paws Animal Shelter to make an appointment to come see her. All of our contact information is at foreverpaws.com. Don't hesitate, give us a call to come meet her. I know she'd love to meet you. Today with us we have Peter Pan. We have him as a Chihuahua mix. He did come in as a stray, so we have him estimated about 3 years old. He is super playful, but we do have him with no children because he is possessive over his food. He does love his toys. He loves the plushy toys, especially if it squeaks. He's definitely a high energy little man, so if you like to run, if you're active, he'd be a really good fit for you. He's very sweet and outgoing. He doesn't seem to be shy with new people. He likes to greet anybody that walks by. I know if he sees dogs walking, he just wants to make friends with everybody. If you want to come down and meet Peter Pan, you can call to make an appointment. I know you won't be disappointed. He's a fun little man and he'll be very happy to play with you and meet you.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great long Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.